Live.
We're live.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Chris Homestead and Hardway, and I just got through watching a video the Smith Family Ranch put up about this new electric mesh wire they put around chickens, and she was asking some questions about fence won't hot enough. Now I'll be honest with you, I don't know nothing about this new mesh wire. I kind of got a general concept of how it works, but there's a couple things I want to cover about fence chargers. She's having trouble getting amperage, and this is probably true with it too. Come over here. Okay, the first thing I see people doing that I don't understand is people are checking their fences. They're laying a piece of grass. They're pulling a green piece of grass and laying it on the fence. If you do that with this fence, you're going to get shocked. It's going to get you just as good as if you grabbed it with both hands. So I'm assuming that their fence isn't very hot. This is how you actually check your fence. Come here, you can see. Now this is the end of our fence. This is the coldest spot on it. I don't know if they can hear that and see it. You may have to come over here. What you're looking for is a bright colored spark or a blue spark.
I'm not sure if they can see this.
I don't know if you can see it in the video, but you can hear it popping.
You see some spark.
Or you can see the spark good. You're on the wrong side of it. Anyway, it's a bright white blue spark. No, you need to be right here, baby.
Right here.
Yeah, right here. You're not getting that bright white blue spark. The fence isn't hot. If you can touch it with a green piece of grass and it doesn't shock you, the fence ain't hot. You probably can't walk in there and see the fence charger, but something else I want to cover right quick. Fence chargers come in many different sizes. And I've done this before, same as everybody else. I've gone down to the little farm store, Tractor Supply, Quality Farming Country, whatever you got where you're at, and bought the little $20 fence chargers. And they're probably good enough to keep the foxes out of your hen house or keep your dog away from something. But they're not going to work for cows, not going to work for, definitely not going to work for hogs. The other thing everybody doesn't know is if you look at the fence charger, the first thing you need to look for is the highest amp rating. And I'm not sure about the AC DC, because I've noticed that there's some that plug in the wall that are AC and some that plug in the wall are DC. I know the difference between alternating and direct current, but I don't know what the difference is when it applies to a fence charger. The one I've got in there is as big as a briefcase, and it's supposed to do 1,500 miles of fence. A lot of people don't know this, that when it says miles of fence, if you'll take the pamphlet out of the charger and read it, that's 1,500 miles of one strand. So, you know, your fence wire's gonna come in quarter-mile rows. You need to count your rows when you put it up.
If you're doing three rows, that's...
You got to add it together. Like here, it takes about a mile to go around this. Part of it's got 4 strands. 2 strands of it's hot. So you got to add all that together. But the little 2 and 3 mile inexpensive fence chargers won't charge through weeds. They won't charge through a short. The one I've got, if it's touching a post or something, it's still hot. If the dog fennels have grown up on it, it's still hot. To answer their question, if you're not getting any fire out of the fence, you're probably not pushing enough amps. That woven wire's got a lot of wire in it. It's got, look like 8 or 10 strands of wire in it, and or more. It looked like it was 3 or 4 foot wire with a strand every 6 inches. So that's a lot of wire.
Sorry that it looks like it's kind of going in and out. It's cloudy, and the phone's trying to pick up the light.
But anyway, I thought that might help some people. I know a lot of people are new to this, and they've just never been around electric fences, and they don't know how they really work. I'm not sure how that wire that you move works anyway, because these new chargers don't ground like the old chargers. The old Chargers, if you ground the fence charger itself and got it grounded good, the Charger would work. But these new Chargers, the ones they started making in the last 10 years, if the animal's not grounded, it won't shock them. And even my fence, if you've got on good shoes, good rubber sole shoes, you can walk up and touch it and it won't get you. If the ground's really, really dry, it won't get you. That's why we had to put ground wires. You got to have a hot in the ground. And maybe you hook the hot in the ground to the fence charger to that wire. Maybe one set of wires is a hot, maybe one set of wires is a ground. I'm not sure how that works. But what causes your amperage drops is the charger not being grounded good will do it for certain. You got to run 2 or 3 8-foot ground rods in the ground in a good wet spot to get it grounded good. It won't like that in the old days. In the old days, you could stick that shovel in the ground and hook the ground wire to it, and it would ground the fence charger. We used to just have one of those rods there pushed in the ground under the shelter beside it, and had the wire wrapped around it. Grounded it fine, but it don't work like that anymore. And but anyway, if you're having trouble with your fence, and something else I'll throw out there, I've never had a solar charger or a charger that ran on a battery that would do much of anything. We used to have goats that we moved around a lot and put on places where there wasn't any electricity, wasn't any water, and we had to use solar chargers or battery powered chargers and tote water to them, and I've never seen them work right. They're just not hot enough, not pushing enough amps. But to reiterate, not ramble, the charger not being grounded good will drop the voltage. Or the amps. You want amps, not volts. They'll drop the amps. A lot of wire will drop the amps. Being grounded out or shorted out, you know, green vegetation on it, touching a rod, touching a post will drop the amps. That'll drop it faster than anything. And too much wire for the charger. Because there's resistance on that wire, and the further you get away from the charger, the colder or the less amps you have. And I think that's about all I can really tell you that'll help you. But that's just a little quick, you know, just some general knowledge that I don't think everybody knows. But maybe it'll help you out a little bit, and thanks for watching.
Sorry about the guinea wanting to be on camera.